Hello everyone, it's Omar from Casual Meeple here, and today we have a bit of a special episode. As you can see, it's week after UK Games Expo 2018, and in this episode, what I will show you is my interview with Federico Sohns, who is currently working for Modiphius Entertainment, and most importantly is lead writer for Nibiru RPG. If you've never heard of it, this is your chance, because I think that Nibiru RPG stands out really well on the market, and it's something really different. And as you can see over here, it's coming soon. But if you want to learn more about Nibiru, make sure to watch this interview and come back soon, as we are going to make a full review of the Quickstart guide, which, interestingly, is downloadable free from Thru RPG. You can find the link below and all the other links if you want to know more about the game. So now, without further ado, let's go to the interview. Thanks for watching, and make sure to come back.
Would you like to introduce yourself first and to kind of people know who are we talking with?
Yeah, totally. I'm Federico Sohns. I'm an assistant developer for Modiphius Entertainment. I started in this company partly because of this game and kind of like the little stuff that we were doing in the roleplay haven, guys up there. Kind of been part of it from the start, from the get-go, in the development of the game. The main idea of the game, I'm guessing, would be that it's a science fiction game about lost memories. So what I wanted to do is basically to integrate the narrative development of your character along with your progression mechanics. So the idea that the narrative of how you discover who your character is, because you're all going to be basically playing amnesiacs in this kind of like adventure, is that every new bit of information that you basically discover about your past is going to be linked to a mechanical progress.
Yeah, I remember when you played the first time, it was really like, it grabbed the idea that if I don't have the memories and once they come back to you, it really was like the moment when I played, and we were lucky enough to get like 3 successes on the roll. I was like, okay, so the memory comes back, and it really made an impact for me. That I was like, okay, I know why my character has no memories, and I know how it is directly implemented in the game rather than just, oh yeah, because of the story. No, like it makes sense in that game that it works that way. So that was
yeah,
really
totally.
nice.
Well, that's a pretty good part of it. Like it definitely has to have like a logic sense to how your skills kind of like unfold. It's so that, for example, the base dice roll mechanic, that is just you roll 3 dice for almost everything you do. It does make sense in the fact that it's not that you're incapable of doing something or more capable than the rest, it's just you're not aware of your capabilities. So it all looks the same until you try for the first time and you discover that through that experience of like the flashback, basically.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay, so what setting are we talking about? Because we know it's like a kind of darker aspect of the sci-fi, but what is it, like a particular world or a space station, or is it a particular setting it offers?
So it's a very particular setting because most science fiction role-playing games, as stands now, they're generally space operas. So it's all about adventuring through the galaxy and shooting the bad guys, etc. But this, I wanted to basically just go back to the roots of hard science fiction. Basically, science fiction is more strongly thematic, let's say. In that we have a limited setting, a kind of like massive space station that serves as a sort of like allegory of the cave, like in Plato's allegory. The people that are in there do not know what's out there. They do not know that they live in a space station, but this is their natural world for them.
That's the only thing they know.
Exactly, and that kind of like puts forth a very different perspective of what nature is, what technology is, and basically the world in which they live. And within this space station, you have basically a core that provides energy to everything that it surrounds, and this core, of course, is at the center of their mythology, of their beliefs, and of their folklore, let's say. And the idea is that the people that are closer to the core have basically access to more resources. The big city-states that are formed within the station are more focused next to the core, and as you basically go further away from the core, things just start to either malfunction, and because they don't have energy supply, they just don't function as well. and of course all of the other factors that have to do with the technicisms and the science between the station have to kick in. For example, the fact that because the station generates gravity due to centrifugal force, the further away you're from the core, the gravity pull is stronger. So the people that have been kind of like exploring and settling the outer parts of the station actually grow shorter. They have like a more potent kind of like circulatory systems or vascular system.
They're developed
and
differently.
all of that is kind of built into the system because that's what we want to do. We kind of wanted to bring the science back into the science fiction.
Yeah, because that's gone quite often, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right. So would you like to say something more about the memo system? Because that's
Yes.
one of the, I think, best things about
That's
the
a
game.
core
That's
thing.
the whole thing, really.
So design-wise, the system is very simple. You basically just roll a couple of d4s. If you get a 4 in any single die, you're successful. So that's it. That's the basic dice resolution system, and that allows us to really build a very strong thematic system on top of that is very easy to basically play around with. So the memo system works with memory points. Your character has access to these memory points that represent the potential to remember something. So whenever you're rolling, instead of rolling, you can choose to spend those memory points. Those memory points give you 3 things. They give you an automatic success, so you're successful at whatever it is that you're trying without needing to roll. They give you the chance to write that memory, so you have a memory entry in here. Basically says, I remember, and you write your memory that is most often related to the action that you're taking. And they give you a permanent bonus to that type of skill. So if you're jumping over to that platform over there, say, and you are going to roll, you can spend those memory points and say, okay, I remember that back in my hometown, I used to do parkour. And I used to really enjoy that activity, and you're writing that, and the effect will be you get a +1 to jumping. So next time, whenever you're rolling to jump, you're going to roll 4 dice instead of 3.
Yeah, so it has a permanent effect of that.
Exactly. Now the thing is, the memo system also explores your character in their negative side, like basically every shortcoming, every kind of like skill in which your character is not proficient at, we also get to explore. These memory points, of course, do not come just for free.
Yeah.
One of the main ways, the main way actually to get those memory points is to, instead of choosing to spend those memory points and not roll, you choose to fail that roll, you get a permanent penalty, and you write that. Basically, you're justifying through your background why you're not good at this, but you get those memory points in return. So your character starts to get really fleshed out as time moves on.
Yeah, so I'll become weaker to become stronger.
Exactly. And it's a really interesting thing because what you see in kind of long-term games and campaigns is that with every new bit of lore, the characters and the players that are playing those characters grow very connected because they've invested a lot of creativity into these characters.
Yeah, that's true. That makes sense.
All the worse when they lose the character. Just quite shocking, and but it's really interesting the kind of like relationship between the player and the character that forms.
So when
Yeah.
can we expect any Kickstarter, or how the game is going to be published? Is there any promotional things we can expect?
So yeah, definitely. So the Kickstarter is going to basically be starting, and this is kind of like the first time saying this
Okay.
actually in the public, on the 1st of December of this year. So we're going to basically kickstart it starting on Dragon Meet in London. So basically you'll see how we kind of like ride the wave and promotion the game in more as we get closer to that date, and we're launching Kickstarter basically.
All right, that's great. Where can people find you if they want to find something more about the game?
So if they want to find more about the game, my recommendation is to go to our Facebook page. You can also head over to Nibiru, that's Nibiru -RPG.com, and then you can subscribe to the newsletter and receive updates every month or so. And that's kind of like the way to go. We also have in Thru RPG our Quickstart guide that's downloadable for free, and that's probably what you need to kind of get you going.
Yeah, we'll pop all the. I'm going to pop in all the links to all of the stuff over there so people can find
Excellent.
and test
Yeah.
it out. All right. Is there anything else you would like us to tell?
Other important and interesting aspects of the game is kind of like the archetypes you see, because you have archetypes in other games that basically are like your bard, your rogue, etc. in Nibiru, the archetypes and kind of following the philosophy of the game design, which is everything is made to play around with your memories, will basically tell you where your character is from. So each archetype will be a different location or different concept that gives you the creative framework within which you'll write your memories. And that will change your character mechanically. For example, there's one of the archetypes that is called the Dreamlands that basically entails that all your memories are from other people. So it's a really interesting concept because every person that you meet, you can choose to spend points and trigger kind of like something that allows you to have an empathic connection. And depending on how strong that connection is, the number of memories that you'll be able to write about them. So you can kind of like shape around the background of the world by writing about a lot of different people and kind of develop different characters.
That's going to be really interesting to roleplay, actually, character like that.
Yeah. There's another archetype which basically is all about memories that spring from androids that kind of had like an awakening of consciousness, of sentience. So it's a very interesting thing that you get to like toy around with. There's a very basic but really quaint habitat that is basically like the archetype that you'll see in the Quickstart guide, which is Brighttown, which is just a countryside town. But you really get like a lot of creative space to play with that. So we're trying to make everything very interesting. We're trying to always be playing around with the memory mechanic and kind of like just take as much from that as we can.
I've noticed already that the game really is heavily based on that, but that's what makes it so different from everything else.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there is so many different RPGs out there, but like Nibiru really is different.
Yeah.
And especially with the body and mind thing, that the mind is a whole separate statistic on its own, and
totally.
You can lose by going crazy, not only by getting shot to death.
Yeah, and we've also taken a lot of care. You won't see this in the Quickstart guide because we have kind of like a pass system with this. But with the mind system, we've actually designed it with a mental health care advisor. So it's not going to be as simple as rolling sanity and you go and say, we've taken a lot of care to basically make it so that every person basically in Nibiru has a degree of tolerance to whatever it is that they're facing, whether it is a situation of helplessness or violence or anything that takes you out of your comfort zone, and everything that takes you to a breaking point can basically devolve into a symptom, which can be depression, anxiety, and a lot of like common issues, but also succeeding at those sanity rolls, like with an exceptional success, will also denote a degree of insensitivity. Okay. So the scale is not just going down, but it's also going upwards, and it's kind of like a double-edged sword in that denoting a degree of insensitivity is also a sign of a mental health issue.
It's not just like, it's not plain black and white. There's a lot of gray in the middle.
There's a lot of gray, and being insensitive to something also carries their own symptoms. So for example, if you are very successful at resisting a sort of like reacting to a situation of violence, and you're very cold with that, you might get like a permanent kind of symptom that makes it so that whenever you exert violence on others, maybe you do it in such a cold way that the rest of the party will have to roll sanity because of the way in which you're doing it.
Alright, that sounds really good.
So there's a lot to it.
So I guess now the last thing we can do is just wait till December.
Yeah.
And Kickstart you as soon as you show up.
Yeah, exactly. That's the way to go.
I don't think I'm going to be taking too much of your time because I know you're quite busy.
Yeah, we're working.
Alright, so thanks a lot. It was a pleasure to chat with you.
Thank you very much.